I own Monique's Bridal downtown, and I give him a chair to sit and read his books. Every day he comes back in the shop because we keep his chair inside the shop.
워렌 브라운 씨는 매일 그랜드 정션 다운타운에 위치한 모니크 드레스 매장 앞 의자에서 책을 읽었습니다. 모니크 매장 직원들의 친절 덕분에 그는 4년간 편히 앉아 책을 읽을 수 있었습니다.
What raised concern with you today to report him missing?
Because the place people already called to see if I had seen him because he didn't show up for work, and he's never once not shown up for work in the 4 years he's been working for them. So I said no, and that I hadn't seen him since Saturday.
So every morning it's around 6?
Yeah.
Without fail?
Without fail.
7 days a week?
Yes. He is there every morning. The nicest guy ever. Rough looking, but he is the nicest guy.
And that's the weird thing is I said I'll see you tomorrow. He said I'll be here. I'll see you tomorrow.
한편 하루 전날 근처에서 작은 소동이 일어났습니다. 19세 브라이언이 몰던 차가 강에 빠져버렸습니다. 차가 강에 빠지자 브라이언은 부모님께 전화를 했고 부모님은 경찰에게 도움을 요청했습니다. 분위기는 화기애애했습니다.
Yeah, we made him wait till he was almost 18 before he got his driver's license because we didn't want him having any accidents like they do when they're 16 and 17.
Gotcha. Hey, partner, you want to come out and talk to me real quick?
Sure. I mean,
it,
I'm really cold. Is it okay if it's in here? Because
his pants because he had
okay. That's fine. I did not know that. No, please stay in the car. Yeah. All right. What were you doing down here, bud?
Well, I felt like I needed to get out, and I figured, why not park here and just
relax a little bit?
Relax and think.
브라이언은 상황 설명을 이어갔고 언덕에 잠시 정차하여 쉬다가 다시 출발하려고 했을 때 차가 강 쪽으로 밀려 내려갔다고 설명했습니다. 차를 견인해야 하는 것 이외에 특이사항이 없자 경찰은 브라이언을 집으로 가게 해주었고 브라이언 부모님은 브라이언을 집에 내려주고 다시 사고 지점으로 돌아왔습니다. 그런데 차를 견인하던 중에 경찰은 특이한 광경을 목격합니다.
The back bumper, I don't know, you can probably see it from here. A lot of red on the back of that. Now dripping down it all a little bit. But underneath the license plate, a lot of red, which means looks like blood.
이때까지만 해도 모두가 브라이언이 차에서 탈출하는 과정에서 다친 것인지 자해하려는 목적이 있었는지 등의 가능성들을 생각하며 브라이언을 걱정하였습니다. 브라이언 엄마가 전화를 걸어서 괜찮은지 물었을 때 브라이언은 차에서 피가 나왔다는 사실에 매우 놀라워했습니다.
Brian, are you okay? They see blood on the back bumper of the vehicle.
Really?
Yeah, did you get hurt?
No.
Are you sure you don't have any injuries?
No, I'm fine. There's blood on it?
빨간 액체는 피로 의심되었으나 차가 침수된 탓에 식별할 수 없었고 경찰은 가족들에게 차를 돌려주었습니다. 그날 이후 브라이언 아빠는 침수차를 세차하던 중 낯선 지갑과 큰 칼을 발견했습니다.
Opened the glove box and there was a knife in the glove box underwater. Okay. The glove box is full of water. Very large knife.
Okay.
And then as I go around the passenger door, I open the passenger door and there's a wallet in between this door and the gun or whatever.
Okay.
And I open up, that's not Brian's wallet. It's frozen solid. Like, oh my God, that's not Brian's wallet. So I take him aside and I end up getting one of the wads of cards out. There's a labor ready. I read that. So I called labor ready. And then another one, there was a social security card.
Okay.
I was like, hey, this is a weird call, but I've got a wallet here with so-and-so's name, and I'm hoping he works for you all, or you subbed him out or whatever. Oh, yeah, my one, we've been missing him. Yes, he didn't show up today. I'm like, oh, my God, now we've got a missing person. Okay, well, I found his wallet at Blue Hen Program. So here's my name. Here's all my information. If you get a hold of him, tell him I've got his wallet here at my house. Okay, so I left that like that.
브라이언이 나쁜 짓을 하지 않았을 것이라고 믿고 싶었던 아빠의 바람은 전화 한 통에 산산조각 났습니다.
111 is John. What's the address emergency?
Hi, there is an emergency. I found something in my son's closet wrapped in a plastic bag.
Okay, what was it?
I think it's a human head.
It's a what?
I think it's a human head.
Why do you think it's that?
Because it looks like it's all an ear.
Is it bloody or does it like anything like that?
I just told you to come. So I had to take a picture and send it to you.
What's the address? Is your son there now?
He just pulled up. We wanted to make sure he was here before we called.
How old is he?
19. He's had a little bit of a fascination with the morbid, but he was channeling it, I thought, into becoming a crime scene investigator, but not so much.
Do you think he's going to be cooperative with us?
I don't know. I don't think he'll be violent. Just came back from his friend's house.
Does he have any weapons in his room, or do you guys have any in the house?
I don't know. I think that he has a shotgun, but he's out by the car now, so.
Is the bag still in the closet?
No, it's in my kitchen sink. And there's a secondary bag that I have not opened.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Like, for real human head and hands?
Yes.
From?
That fellow who went missing recently.
Which fellow was that?
Warren Brown.
Warren Brown? When did he go missing?
The night of the 27th.
The night of the 27th? Okay, and how did you end up with him?
I murdered him.
With what?
A knife.
Why would you have done that?
I've always wondered what murder felt like.
정황을 묻는 경찰의 질문들에 브라이언은 위풍당당한 자세로 막힘없이 대답했습니다. 봉투한 내용물을 확인하러 경찰들이 집으로 향했고 싱크대 안에서 누군가의 머리와 손이 담긴 봉투들을 발견했습니다.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
It's not me in that car, you know?
I can't believe it.
Oh. Got it.
Oh my God.
It's kind of a time to not really know what to do, so.
I don't know what happened. At random too, why? I don't get it.
브라이언의 가족들은 상당히 혼란스러워했고 경찰들은 브라이언을 경찰서로 연행하기 시작합니다. 연행되던 도중 브라이언은 묻지도 않았는데 범행 장소를 보며 자백을 이어갑니다.
It was under this bridge.
It was under this bridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
경찰들과 브라이언은 다리 밑으로 향했고 그곳에서 워렌 씨의 시체의 일부분이 발견되었습니다.
It's right here.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah. Because there's an arm. Hey, there's an arm, there's another arm.
Okay, hold on. Do some pictures. Start right now.
Just having a discussion with the deputy chief about how these kids don't have any remorse.
경찰은 브라이언의 죄책감이 전혀 없는 모습에 한숨을 크게 내쉬었습니다. 브라이언의 부모님들은 매우 협조적으로 신문에 임하였고 브라이언의 어린 시절에 대해 이야기하였습니다. 브라이언의 아빠는 아들이 평소에 폭력적이지 않고 동물을 좋아한다는 점에서 그저 사회성이 조금 부족할 뿐이라고 여겨왔다고 했습니다.
Tell me about Brian. Does he have any kind of mental issues or disabilities?
That's why we were told he has ADHD. Okay. So we put him on ADHD medicine. He detected it during the summer or weekends only when he was in school.
Okay.
In middle school, he started exhibiting antisocial behavior.
Okay.
The doctor has said, yes, he's ADHD. Yes, he's autistic. Yes, he's this. Oh, and there's some indications that he should get further testing because of potential psychosis.
브라이언 엄마는 브라이언이 과거에 학교에서 여러 차례 친구들을 괴롭혀 정학당한 사건들을 설명했습니다. 브라이언의 독특한 성향이 긍정적인 곳에 쓰일 수 있도록 범죄 수사관 책을 사주며 그를 바른 길로 인도하려던 노력들에 대한 설명도 이어나갔습니다. 브라이언과의 직접 신문이 시작되었고 그의 태도와 발언들은 경악을 금치 못하게 만들었습니다. 그는 신문 내내 웃으며 무용담을 털어놓듯 자신의 범행을 설명하였습니다.
I saw a strange shape by the railway tracks, so I investigated and it revealed to be a homeless person sleeping. So I stabbed him to death.
Okay.
Then decapitated his head and hands and arms.
Okay.
I then took the head and put it in my car trunk along with the hands in bags, plastic Ziploc bags. I took it back to my house, cleaned off the knife, tried to hide the head and hands, removed the trash in my car that was stained in blood. And then I tried sleeping. However, I was quite stupid, shall we say, because I decided that's too much evidence. The body needs to be dumped in the river. So I took the body in the trunk, drove it to the Blue Heron drop-off point, and unsuccessfly dumped the body as I parked too low down the ramp. The ramp is on dirt, so unless you have four-wheel drive, you're not getting out. And I was unable to get out, and my car flooded. Let's see, I killed him just after 11, February 27th, 2021. What do you want to know? Because, I mean, I'm already going to jail for 15 years probably, and I am in a bad state of mind at that time. I have major depressive disorder, so I am not thinking, I shall say, positively. I'm eventually driving underneath the bridge near the sheriff's office. You know, like how...
Oh yeah, go ahead.
There's a road underneath, right? Out under the overpass. And I was driving along, and I see a shape here on the railway track. So I'm like, oh, interesting. And then like, that's a homeless person. So I grab my knife, I put on 3 layers of gloves, because plastic gloves can betray their users because they're so thin, those vinyl gloves, by imprinting your fingerprints through. So I put on 3 on one hand. I took the knife, I pulled back the canvas, and I stabbed his neck. He was panicking at first in his old man voice. He was in his 50s. I'm not lying. I know why I call him an old man. He was saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Ah!" And I just kept on stabbing his neck. It's okay if I do a demonstration.
Oh, yeah.
This is him. I was straddled on top of him like this.
Okay.
And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprisingly easy. I was barely breaking a sweat. I thought, oh, this guy, he's going to be tough. But no, it was actually surprisingly easy. So he said, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "I've been wanting to do this for a long time, murder someone." And then I continued. The whole ordeal lasted about a minute and a half.
Okay.
And when I was finished stabbing him, he took out his last breath, a grunt, and his head was halfway cut off in stabs.
누군가에게 목격될까봐 두렵지 않았냐는 형사의 질문에 농담도 서슴지 않았습니다.
They would have seen me holding a bloody 12-inch knife, wearing gloves, and wearing a mask to conceal my identity, a face mask.
Okay. So you weren't doing it for COVID, you were doing it to hide your face?
Partially. Social distancing.
계속해서 브라이언은 범행 후 집에 와서 증거를 인멸하려고 했다고 구체적으로 설명했고, 신문하는 내내 살인이 어떤 기분인지 궁금했다고 하며 일말의 후회나 죄책감도 보이지 않았습니다. 신문한 수사관들에 따르면 그는 히틀러나 연쇄살인범들을 추앙하는 발언들을 했다고 전해집니다. 브라이언은 끊임없이 자신이 완벽 범죄를 위해 한 노력들에 대해 설명했고, 살인에 대한 생각은 충동적 범행이 아닌 오래전부터 해보고 싶었다고 말하며 과거의 일을 떠올립니다.
Last year, my parents found a kit I had been assembling. It had hammers, shovels, knives, large zip ties, duct tape, saw. That was meant for hurting people.
다행히 조기에 부모님들이 발견하여 그 도구들은 버려졌지만 워렌 씨를 향한 잔혹한 범행은 막아지지 못했습니다. 브라이언의 엄마가 집에서 어린이집을 운영하는 것을 감안했을 때 브라이언이 아동을 향한 범죄를 저질렀을 가능성 또는 다른 여지에 관한 목소리도 있었습니다. 2023년 1월 17일부터 12일에 걸친 그의 재판에서 브라이언의 변호사는 그가 정신 이상 증세로 인해 옳고 그름을 판단할 수 없었으므로 무죄를 주장하였습니다. 하지만 증인으로 나온 의사에 따르면 브라이언의 증상은 심각하지 않으며 배심원들은 그의 정신 이상이 무죄를 입증할 수 없음을 주장했습니다. 또한 판사는 그의 37년간의 경력 동안 본 가장 끔찍한 사건 중 하나라고 일컬었습니다. 다행스럽게도 그는 1급 살인 혐의에 유죄를 받으며 가석방 없는 무기징역을 선고받았습니다. 그의 심신미약 변명은 ADHD나 정신 이상 증세를 앓고 있는 환자들에게도 큰 상처를 입혔습니다. 브라이언의 무참한 범행으로 인해 희생당한 워렌 브라운 씨는 그랜 정션 주민들에게 사랑받는 존재였고 딸과 손녀까지 있는 누구에게나 친절한 사람이었습니다. 그를 추모하며 주민들은 기부금을 모아 그가 모닉 매장 앞에서 늘 앉아있던 의자를 본뜬 동상과 함께 나무, 책 동상들을 그랜드 정션 스퀘어에 마련하였습니다. 많은 사람들이 워렌 씨를 그리워하고 있으며 이 동상들과 함께 그는 영원히 기억될 것입니다. 좋은 하루를 보내라는 주민들의 인사말에 늘 And you also 라고 대답하던 워렌 씨를 기리며 오늘의 영상을 마칩니다.